What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Flying Brown's Garage. Today, I'm going to be working on the red tractor. This one right here. I actually built a bumper for this thing yesterday. And I did put a little bit of it in that video. Well, I didn't, do it on the video, but what I did was I just kind of did it off camera and then showed. I had built one on here originally that was square tubing, but then I realized it was too long and I decided I wanted to use it for the van, actually. So I took it off, welded it on the van, and then I built this yesterday out of galvanized, which I know it's not as sturdy, but it looks pretty good, I just drove the galvanized and the square tubing all the way back to the end on each side. I measured it off, cut it down, welded me a top and a bottom, so it kind of looks like a Jeep bumper. Also matches the rear and everything. But with that being said, today's video is actually going to be focused on a couple of performance mods that I can make on this here at the shop with no money to make this thing better. So what we've got here is we've got stock air box on the carburetor, but what I'm thinking about doing is have this air filter set up, which I probably wouldn't use the elbow there, but now I can take the elbow off there and just use the pipe and filter. I have another carburetor in here, this one right here, that has just recently been through and rebuilt. I'd actually like to go in and port the jet just a little bit, and then what we're going to do is we're going to change out that air box for air box is going to be changed for this. Where's some fittings? I got them somewhere. Okay, this one just picked up. Come on now, there they are. These guys right here. So take the air box off, put that guy on, and that'll allow me to run that setup. If I not drop everything, we're gonna do that. We're probably gonna throw a better spark plug in it, and we're probably going to cut the muffler off of this unit. It's still got stock muffler, and then make an exhaust for it. Got the old box off. So many parts to it. Brackets and shit. And then go into that. Very simple. I think I'm going to wait on the carburetor and see how this thing performs with just this mod. So that's how it should look, just like so. And we're going to go ahead and install this now. There's our mod, and it is already so much more responsive. Instead of changing out carburetors, I just added a little more fuel to the mixture. I'm going to add a return spring for the throttle, but check out how responsive this is. So I took a little break, took this thing up to the house, and it's still choking out a little bit. So what I think is being starved of fuel. I added air and I didn't add fuel. And I couldn't really add too much from the fuel mixture screw. So what I did was I came through here and I rebuilt this. I didn't rebuild, but I came into this nicky here. I pulled the plastic housing. You see there's a hole in there. So what I did was I actually had to use another plastic housing because this one's a little wore out, and the jet doesn't want to sit right in the plastic housing. It likes to fall out, and this one was good. So what I did was I took a ice pick, because they go from small to, you know, kind of like you can judge your size. So what I did was I just kind of stuck it in the hole and kind of did a little bit of a drilling action. And the feed hole in this carburetor is now just a little bit bigger than that. And I also bored out just a hair. I bored out the jet. So this thing actually should perform better with this carburetor on there, and I'm hoping so. Also, we have a new spark plug to put up in there. I mean, it's new enough. I had it in a drawer and I cleaned it. It's in really good shape still. So we're going to throw a spark plug up in there and see what she do. Alright, let's install our spark plug. Oh, don't tell me that's not the right plug. Ended up having to reuse the one that came in it. But cleaned it up. Adjusted the gap. I'm going to put it back in. It didn't have such a shallow head. I'll be able to run a longer one. Oh, hell, come on. Gap adjustment should give us a better spark response. Alright, time to disassemble and replace the carburetor. This is a pretty easy job. All I gotta do is bust off fuel line. It helps to have a shut off. If you don't, I usually just stick a bolt or an extension, like a 1/4 inch extension. Usually it'll fit in that hole, and just seal it off. Air filter down here. We need a 5/16 socket. Hold on. Bolt studs are 5/16. Once you pop those off, it's a Walbro or it's a Nicky too, and it's a leaky one at that. So I don't feel bad for putting a Nicky on this. It already has one on it. So we got our old one off. Let's see if somehow I can reuse this gasket. Probably not. Oh. Yeah, buddy. It popped right off. You just gotta work it a little bit. So we got our old Nicky off of here. And then we got our new one. We're going to go ahead and install our new one. And I still have to add a return spring for the throttle. Slide our studs in to keep our gasket in place while we guide this thing on here. Usually like to get the studs lined up just a little bit. Get them started with my finger behind the gasket. Then I'll come in and grab the top of the gasket, slide her on there. Go ahead and screw your studs down without taking your hand off to make sure that the gasket is on there properly. And then just tighten them down. Now we just add our air breather hose. Fuel line hooked up, turned on, ready to go. Let's fire this thing up, see how it runs. Figured it out. I actually had the jet in the wrong position. Wishing these stupid things they don't screw in, so it's kind of easy to get it screwed up. I just took the other carburetor apart for reference. I also checked the how much of a more of a flow I have, and it's a little bit, not much. That carburetor's still in pretty good shape. Came off of here, and I just cleaned it up and took it apart and checked it, put it back together. So if all else fails, we could always put it back on, but this one should be good now. So it was having a problem idling, and I think that's the reason is because I didn't have the jet in right, and it was getting way too much fuel. It was running good when I had my hand on the throttle real hard. Other than that, it ran like shit. And I know sometimes when you increase your horsepower by doing this, you end up with no idle, or you got to idle higher. Alright. See if the battery has enough charge, because it was just dead just a minute ago. Still don't want to idle. Battery's dead again. We got our freshest carburetor in the shop, rebuilt, ported out the hole for the gas fill. That way it gets more of a feed, so it don't run out of gas in the bowl. That way it has more gas to feed to the engine. We've got our cold air intake here. It's sort of cold air. I'd say cold enough. I went ahead and routed it differently. I stacked it all the way to the top because I noticed that when you shut the hood, it comes to right about here. So that's perfect. It gets it away from the engine more, and this stirs up air. So I'm hoping to have it the coldest intake that I got, you know, besides the air coming from the engine there. I also had to redo my vent tube for the oil because I don't have the transition from here to here. So I plugged this in with a hose and a bolt, and then we got this tube coming up here to a vent, and then another vent tube coming off. Goes down. So I'm actually gonna get some zip tie this all together, and actually let's go ahead and fire it real quick, see what it does. That's probably what we need to do first. That way I make sure I don't have to take that off again, because if I zip tie it and I have to take it off, then I'm going to just I'm going to have to buy some zip ties. And that's a waste of zip ties. So let's see what we got. That's it. It runs really good. So we have, like I said, we ported our fill into the bowl. We bored out our jet for the carburetor to shoot the gas up into it. Everything's cold. Yeah, that's cold. Nice and cold. Throttle's hooked up just like it should be. Choke's hooked up just like it should be. I am going to put a return spring on the throttle. We'll do that after I come back from eating dinner. I gotta go eat dinner. I gotta seal this up because it's leaking a little bit from this this filter. Not the filter itself, but it's just leaking from the hose. I might have to get another piece of hose and put in there. But everything else is working great. Our vent, crankcase vent's working great. I'm going to zip tie everything up, and then we'll start looking at working on the exhaust. Alright guys, so I'm just going to take a quick second here and got to say a couple things. I guess this is my little commercial. But subscribe to the channel. Go down there and like it, because it don't get seen if you don't like it. Apparently YouTube has some kind of weird algorithm or whatever the hell it's called, that just, if you don't like and engage in the videos, they don't get seen as much. So comment down below, like the videos, go check out Facebook, the Instagram, and I'm probably going to lose the Snapchat soon, so I wouldn't even bother with that. Other than that, yeah, go do all those things, and go check out some of the previous videos that I've filmed before. There's tons of videos on this channel, and you know, there's pretty good videos back then, and it'll kind of show you where I've came from and where I've gotten to. So go check out those videos and keep engaging with ones I'm making, and that's all I really got to say. So let's get back into the video. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you what I got so far. New carburetor, new fuel line, new to the tractor, of course. I had to put a fuel filter on it. I still got to do one under, because I've got one in the inline down there. Carburetor with the deleted valve, electronic shut-off valve. Everything's been bored, tweaked, and tuned. Throttle return spring up here. Let's show in a little closer there. So, throttle return spring, everything's been tweaked and tuned. Runs really good. There's the crankcase vent. I know it's a little extravagant, but hey, I don't want moisture getting in it, and I don't want oil getting out. I could do a catch cam, but I don't want to do that. We got the spark plug cleaned and regapped and put back in. Everything's got clamps now. Let's go ahead and give it a fire real quick. The exhaust is kind of, you know, it's not done yet, but it's gonna be loud. Carburetor probably still needs a little bit of tweaking, but so far it's running good. I just need to get the rest of the exhaust done. If you remember what it was before, it came down into here, and did a little S thing, and came into the box, and the box was there, so I cut it and put the adapter on it that I had on the 17.5. I switched it up so I could dump it out over on this side instead of down and under. Dump it out here, and I'm going to go down through there. So I'm about to start running some pipe and see how far I can get tonight. Alright, so it's raining pretty hard now, but I've got an exhaust, and it comes down. I'm not done with it yet. It's just dumping out right there. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to bring it up to the same height as everything else, my breather. Because really all the rest of that's sealed off. So technically I'm snorkeled up till about here. I'd say that's my level. My headlights. That's about it. But I'm going to do the exhaust the same way. So what we're going to do is we're going to fire this up real quick. Hear what it sounds like this. And then we're going to come out up behind the rack. And then it's going to dump out like right here. So we have our exhaust stack in the rear. It's going to go in and jump out. I think it looks pretty good. So I am getting ready to go in for the night, but it is complete. Let me turn my light on here so y'all can see. It comes up here. I'm probably going to need to get some heat shield on this around the tire and stuff of that sort. But let's go ahead and fire it up one time tonight, because I want to hear it. I'm sure y'all want to hear it. And then I'll go ahead and go inside. That actually sounds pretty good. Shut it off though, because it is like 12:30. But it runs good, sounds good, looks good. I'm gonna go ahead and call this one except for the damn valves. Gotta adjust the valves tomorrow, and then we'll take it for a ride and hear this thing sing. Looks good. I happen to like that. I think it is about the same level, if not a little higher than the intake. So, you know, it's snorkeled. It's not 100% all the way up real high snorkeled, but technically it's snorkeled. So we ended up doing jetting the carburetor and changing out fuel hose, fuel clamp, filters. Did an exhaust. We're going to be tweaking the valves. Yeah, we've done quite a bit to this thing, and it just needed it. I mean, it ran, but it was hesitant. It's got such more of a throttle response now. Everything just seems much more in tune with itself. So I'm happy that I finally did this. I think it looks really good. The back rack, the exhaust, the engine. I got the battery charger on here right now, but there's the engine. And then we've got our carburetor, which really turned out nice for a Nicky. And then we got the front bumper, which I really like. I think it looks cool. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call it for tonight and go in there, rest for the night. It's gonna be raining again tomorrow and Friday. I've got to, Randy, my buddy, is coming down here. He came down here last weekend, and he's going to come down here again this weekend. He's been helping me with an exterior painting job up the road, and we're supposed to be finishing it up next weekend. So I'm going to be finishing up this video tomorrow, and tomorrow and the next day I will be finishing up the Beast. Everything is sounding really good. Everything is looking really good. I think I built some pretty cool exhaust systems. I'm not bragging or anything, but you know, I think they look pretty cool. I think they look pretty cool. I really like them. Just out of some scrap piping that the next door neighbor gave me. All of this stuff's made out of that. I wish I'd have had more of the square tubing, but it was only very limited of that. But there was a lot of galvanized. So I just do with what I got, make it look decent and make it work for me. This video is going to be in 2 parts. That's just how it ended up being. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video now, and we're going to go ahead and the rest of it will be continued with the second part. Be sure to go check it out. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Be sure to stay tuned to part 2 coming out right behind this one. And yeah, you know, usual. Go down there and like the video. Subscribe if you haven't done so yet. Comment down below if you have any questions, or just, you know, it's just an experiment. Not really ever been into porting and tuning carburetors and shit, so kind of new to it. Just kind of experiment and seeing what I got. I mean, off and on it's ran like shit, but so far it's alright. And I'm continually tweaking it to get it better. So in part 2 we'll probably see the finished product. So be sure to, you know, go and check it out right after this one. And yeah, go check out some of the older videos too. They are all out there to be seen. Go check out the Facebook, Snapchat, and Instagram. And until then, see you guys on part 2.